When someone you love goes quiet after you've hurt them, your first thought is probably that they've stopped caring. That's not what's happening. Their silence is their nervous system doing something they can't control. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Maybe you've been on both sides of this. You've gone silent when it hurt too much to talk. Or you've watched someone you care about disappear into themselves right when you needed them to speak. By the end of this video, you'll understand what's actually happening in that silence. And there's one specific moment in this process that most people never even notice is happening to them. Here's what almost nobody tells you about going quiet. It's not the same thing as giving someone the silent treatment. The silent treatment is a choice. This isn't. When you get hurt, really hurt, the kind that catches you off guard, your body has a few automatic responses available to it. Most people know about fight and flight. Fewer people know about the third option, freeze. Freeze isn't about being passive. It's a survival response. Researchers who study trauma and the nervous system, building on Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory, describe this as your body deciding that fighting back or running away won't work, so it shuts down instead. Think about the last time something someone said landed like a punch. Maybe your chest tightened. Maybe the room went quiet in your head before it went quiet out loud. That's not you choosing distance. That's your nervous system pulling the emergency brake. For some people, this happens fast. One sharp comment and they go somewhere else entirely. Still standing there, but not really present anymore. Their face goes flat. Their words dry up. It looks like indifference. It's the opposite of indifference. And here's the part that changes everything about how you see this. The people who go quiet fastest are often the ones who feel the most, not the least. But here's the uncomfortable part. That shutdown response doesn't just happen in arguments. It can get triggered by something as small as a tone of voice. And once it starts, most people don't even know it's happening to them. Most people think withdrawal means someone has stopped caring about the relationship. The reality is almost the exact opposite. Relationship researcher John Gottman spent decades studying couples, and he found something specific happens right before someone goes quiet. He called it flooding. It's the point where your heart rate spikes, your body floods with stress chemicals, and clear thinking becomes almost impossible. Once flooding happens, talking doesn't calm things down. It makes things worse. So the body does the one thing it thinks will protect it. It stops. Gottman called the visible version of this stonewalling. And what's interesting is that flooding happens far more often and far faster in people who care the most about not damaging the relationship. They're not shutting down because the moment doesn't matter. They're shutting down because it matters too much, and their system can't process it in real time. You've probably felt this yourself. A conversation gets tense, and suddenly you can't find the words you had a second ago. It's not that you don't know what to say. It's that saying anything right now feels dangerous. This is why going quiet often gets misread as coldness. From the outside, it looks like someone checked out. From the inside, it can feel like drowning quietly while trying to look calm. And here's where it gets even more specific. The people most prone to this pattern often learned, long before this relationship, that saying what they felt in the moment didn't go well. So somewhere along the way, their body adapted. Silence became safer than speaking. So if silence isn't coldness, and it isn't a choice, what is it actually protecting someone from? The answer is more specific than you'd expect, and it changes how you should respond to it. The shutdown is protecting the relationship from what might get said in the flooded state. Because in that state, people say things they don't mean, in a tone they don't intend, and they know it. So the silence isn't abandonment. It's often an attempt, clumsy, unspoken, but real, to avoid doing more damage. Here's what this means in real life. If someone you care about goes quiet when they're hurt, pushing harder in that moment almost never works. Demanding they talk right now is asking their nervous system to do something it has already decided it can't safely do. What actually helps is different. It's giving the moment room instead of forcing it open. A simple, low-pressure statement, something like, "Take the time you need, I'm not going anywhere," does more than any question ever could. It tells their nervous system the threat has passed, and if you're the one who goes quiet, this matters just as much. Your silence isn't a character flaw. It's not proof you're bad at relationships or bad at communicating. It's a system that learned at some point to protect you the only way it knew how. Remember that first moment? The one where you felt someone go quiet and read it as them not caring? That silence was never empty. It was full of everything they couldn't say safely in that instant. The people who go quiet when they're hurt usually aren't the ones who feel the least. They're the ones who feel it so intensely that speaking right then isn't safe. Maybe the quietest people in your life aren't the ones with the least to say. Maybe they're the ones carrying the most in a body that learned silence was survival long before it learned it could be safe to speak. The next time someone goes quiet on you, ask yourself what they might be protecting. Not just from you, but for you. That's the thing about understanding your own mind or someone else's. It changes how you show up for people, including yourself. Mind Cipher exists for moments exactly like this one, where knowing the psychology behind a behavior turns judgment into understanding. Next time, we're going into a pattern that's even harder to spot from the outside. If this kind of thing helps you make sense of yourself, sticking around means you won't miss it. If this one hit close to home, there's another video that connects directly to it, about the moment right before someone shuts down and why it happens faster for some people than others. I'll see you there.